you. Oh, I don't know. I wasn't expecting that one. Yeah, it's just so great. This is why it's so nice to not have makeup on.
If anyone gets to say I'll never return to the royal family, it's me, not William. Those words didn't just land, they cut. Sharp, cold, deliberate. Meghan Markle didn't ease into that moment. She charged straight through it like she had been waiting for years to say it out loud. The camera caught the smirk first. Not nervous, not shaky, calculated. This wasn't grief. This was defiance. Delivered live from Santa Barbara at 9:32 in the morning, bathed in Montecito sunlight, framed by spotless glass doors that whispered the message without a single word spoken: I survived, I escaped, and I'm not coming back. But here's the part everyone felt in their gut. This wasn't just about leaving. This was about control. Just 72 hours earlier, Prince William had done what no future king had ever done so cleanly, so brutally. One sentence. No apology. No olive branch. There will be no return. That line detonated across Britain like a constitutional earthquake. And Meghan? She didn't respond with reconciliation. She responded with a challenge. She leaned forward in that beige chair like she was stepping into a courtroom. Eyes locked on the lens. Hands perfectly placed, not trembling, not breaking. Ice dipped in gasoline. She didn't deny the war, she claimed it. William can issue statements, she said. He's good at that, but he doesn't get to rewrite her story. He doesn't get to speak for her husband. And in that moment, it wasn't just Kensington Palace she was staring down, it was the entire institution. Then came the allegation that made even seasoned royal reporters freeze. Meghan didn't say her reputation collapsed naturally. She said it was engineered, quietly, strategically, by William and Catherine themselves. She pointed to the pattern. Anonymous sources, convenient timing, press narratives always landing with her name at the center. No receipts, no documents, just implication, and yet the impact was nuclear. She framed herself as the chosen villain, the permanent scapegoat. Every royal storm somehow always ended at her door. Her voice sharpened when Catherine's name surfaced. She didn't start with hatred, she started with normal, a disagreement, a human moment. And then she said, William turned it into war. That line alone reignited every whisper from 2018 onward. Bridesmaids, dresses, tears, silence weaponized. And just when the shock of that accusation settled, Harry struck back. 14 minutes. That's all it took. A grainy 46-second video from their Montecito garden. No palace polish, no script finesse, just bitterness sitting raw on his face. Unshaven. Black t-shirt, jaw clenched so tight it looked painful. He accused his brother of hypocrisy, of preaching integrity while ignoring the mirror. He reminded the world that the family knows what really happened in 2018, 2019, and every year since. And then he said the sentence that flipped the entire chessboard: if he wants a fight, he'll get one. Within minutes, the hashtag exploded. Britain, Canada, Australia. The monarchy didn't scramble, it hardened. Palace insiders described William as furious but controlled, military calm. Catherine's reaction cut deeper. She watched the segment privately, took one breath, said, "This is not my battle. This is noise," and walked out with her head high. Princess Anne didn't bother with diplomacy. Childish, self-inflicted, embarrassing. King Charles, still recovering, reportedly snapped harder than usual. Enough of this circus. Meghan kept going. For 20 uninterrupted minutes, she denied everything people thought defined her downfall. She never weaponized titles. Oprah wasn't manipulation. Netflix wasn't betrayal. Archetypes wasn't shade. Everything was twisted, she said. Everything monstrous. She left to protect her family. Full stop. But observers caught something else, something sharper. She positioned herself above every royal woman who came before her, above Catherine, above Camilla, even above Diana's legacy, the only truth teller in the room. When asked if she regretted anything that led to William's declaration, her smile didn't soften. It tightened. Absolutely not. They started this. That wasn't reconciliation, that was escalation. And here's where the record caught up with her. From 2021 to 2025, the pattern was already documented. Oprah cracked the foundation. Spotify added polish. Netflix poured gasoline. UN speeches sharpened the blade. Vogue reframed victimhood as armor. Malibu retreats monetized trauma. CNN leaks blurred into AI manipulation. Every chapter claimed healing. Every outcome produced fallout. Even Canada turned. Australia turned. Italy turned. Spain whispered discomfort behind closed doors. The narrative didn't collapse, it overheated. Then the machine leaked. A 12-page internal roadmap. Strategic Classic narrative engineering. Wounded mother archetype. William as emotionally frozen. Catherine as complicit through silence. Reconciliation teased and withdrawn like bait. Controlled rumors traded for favorable coverage. It wasn't healing, it was siege planning. And when the public saw the blueprint, the spell broke. While Meghan spoke louder, the palace went silent and strategic. Emergency meetings, legal pressure without lawsuits, media audits, institutional isolation, zero response, no clapbacks, no interviews. Speak through presence, speak through symbolism. Catherine didn't fight back. She showed up, a navy coat, kneeling beside a child, one white gardenia. Truth, clarity, endurance, Diana's flower. One image more powerful than hours of talking. Engagement exploded. Trust surged. Polls didn't wobble. They locked. And while Meghan recorded another podcast accusing illness of being weaponized, dismissing silence as sainthood, attacking legacies, the world stopped listening. Spotify pulled it. CNN distanced. Sponsors fled. Even Hollywood coined a phrase for it, fatigue. The louder she spoke, the smaller the room became. Back in London, no one watched the podcast. William planned youth programs. Catherine met cancer researchers. Silence, but deliberate. And when she finally spoke, it wasn't to defend, it was to honor. No names, no accusations, just grace sharpened into steel. Love as leadership, silence as protection. By the time Meghan released part 2, the audience was gone. Empty chairs at Christmas said more than any statement ever could. By the time Dawn broke over Montecito, something Meghan hadn't anticipated had already happened. The noise she created didn't echo back the way it used to. No frantic palace rebuttal, no emergency BBC panels scrambling to defend the monarchy. No royal leaks dripping into tabloids to keep the drama alive. Instead, there was something far more dangerous for her brand. Stillness, the kind of silence that doesn't beg for attention, the kind that lets the other side unravel on its own. Inside the Sussex estate, sources describe the atmosphere as tense, clipped, and brittle. Phones buzzing nonstop, advisors whispering behind closed doors, staff walking carefully like one wrong word could trigger another explosion. Meghan was reportedly furious, not at the palace, but at her own team. Furious that Catherine could say nothing and be celebrated as dignified while she poured her heart out and was crucified for it. She says nothing and they worship her, she allegedly snapped. I tell the truth and they destroy me. That sentence alone revealed everything. This wasn't about healing. This was about control of the narrative, and for the first time, she didn't have it. Harry, meanwhile, faded into the background, publicly silent, privately shaken. Old allies didn't answer his calls. Attempts to reach Prince Edward and Sophie were met with polite but firm refusals. No one wanted to be dragged into another Sussex media cycle. Even worse, voices from Harry's past, the part of his life he once protected fiercely, began to speak. A former military colleague released an open letter that cut deeper than any tabloid headline. We served with Harry, not the man reading from scripts in Montecito. He's lost his compass. That line spread like wildfire. The Invictus invitation quietly disappeared. No announcement, no explanation, just absence. As Meghan's platform shrank, Catherine's presence grew without her ever asking for it. A scaled-back charity appearance. No press, no cameras. Yet a single leaked image of her kneeling beside a young cancer survivor eclipsed everything Meghan had said for weeks. No captions, no speeches. Just meaning. Royal watchers didn't miss the symbolism. Gardenius, Diana, truth. Without noise. The contrast was brutal. Behind palace walls, strategy continued. Project Marble expanded. Cyber misinformation. International monitoring. Narrative sovereignty. Not to punish, to contain. Advisors were clear. This wasn't revenge. This was preservation. Every Sussex-linked partnership quietly reviewed. Every institutional tie methodically severed. Not loudly, not emotionally, just efficiently. The monarchy didn't need to win the argument. It only needed to outlast it. Then came the letter. 384 words. No drama, no accusations. Distributed as a simple PDF through official channels. Catherine didn't name Meghan, didn't dissect lies, didn't defend herself. She spoke about silence as protection, about illness, about motherhood, about choosing love over reaction. And that was the moment the world decisively chose sides. Not because Catherine attacked, but because she refused to. Media outlets around the globe reprinted the letter in full. Communication professors called it a masterclass. Paul surged. He Even figures who once championed Meghan publicly acknowledged the shift. When Oprah herself admitted sometimes we get it wrong, the ground under Meghan's narrative cracked completely. Meghan responded the only way she knew how, by doubling down. Another podcast, another monologue, another attempt to reclaim the spotlight. She accused the royal family of using illness as a shield. She questioned Elizabeth's legacy. She painted Catherine as perfected but hollow. And this time, there was no outrage, just exhaustion. Spotify quietly removed it. CNN refused to air excerpts. Brand partners withdrew without statements. Me erased her profile. Project stalled. Words like pause, realignment, and market shifts replaced praise. Hollywood had moved on. Inside Arcuwell, resignations followed. Board members stepped down. Campaigns were canceled. Slack messages leaked. Fear of subpoenas, donor panic, reputational toxicity. One former employee summed it up mercilessly. Every emotional outburst cost us 3 days of cleanup. There's no firewall anymore. Meghan wasn't just the face of the brand, she was the liability. And still, the palace said nothing. Instead, it showed up. A Christmas concert, children's charities, William and Catherine stepping into a crowd that erupted into spontaneous applause. No interviews, no statements, just presence. The image replayed across networks worldwide. 18 million households watched. Commentators called it the most powerful nonverbal rebuttal in royal history. Even King Charles, watching from Sandringham, reportedly murmured, "That's how you reclaim history." The final blow didn't come from a speech. It came from absence. At St. George's Chapel, 3 empty chairs sat quietly at the edge of the front row. No nameplates, no acknowledgement, but everyone knew. Harry, Meghan, a child who never returned. The camera didn't linger, but the internet did. Those empty seats said what no statement ever could. The royal family hadn't exiled them publicly. They had simply moved on. And that's the part Meghan never planned for. She built her strategy on reaction, on outrage, on response, on being indispensable to the story. But the monarchy closed the chapter without asking for her permission. One final line from the palace press office sealed it. There will be no further comment on the matter of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. No lawsuits, no title removal. No public punishments, just distance, institutional memory, silence sharpened into permanence. William reportedly told aides this was never about revenge, it was about reality. And now it's done. Catherine never spoke of it again. She didn't need to. Her words traveled further than any interview, studied in leadership courses, quoted in speeches, shared by women who saw themselves in her restraint. Meghan wanted to be heard. Catherine chose to be remembered. In the end, one woman wrote a letter, the other recorded a tantrum, and the world decided which voice would echo into history. Voice would echo into history. Voice would echo into history. Voice would echo.